And thanks for joining us tonight. More than 24 hours after the shooting last night inside the men's shelter on Madison's east side, police are still searching for the man they believe pulled the trigger.
Tonight, officers are considering him armed and dangerous. This is 23-year-old Ronald Stevens. He is wanted on attempted homicide charges. On scene last night, officers arrested someone else, but police say they are no longer believed to be involved. One person is recovering from gunshot wounds after that shooting. The State Department of Justice is handling the investigation since one of the responding officers fired their weapon. Right now, it is not clear if the officer's bullet hit anyone.
Well, last night, dozens of men planning to stay in the shelter had to sleep somewhere else. A group of community members were there offering help. Madeline O'Neill is live at the shelter with what they did to address what they call a humanitarian crisis. Maddie?
Well, the temporary men's shelter here is up and running tonight, but last night it was a different story. A group of community members came to help those who were displaced and waiting here, but say in future situations, more has to be done to help these people. It's hard to miss these flashing lights, but Anthony Flynn's attention was on something else Monday night.
We saw a large group of men that were cordoned off behind a fence.
The PhD student in counseling psychology and a group of others who work with the unhoused community brought food, water, and blankets to the men who had been planning on staying in the shelter. At that point, closed off for the investigation following the shooting.
We had the resources to be able to provide aid. We had the skills to be able to provide aid, and we were prevented from that.
He started wheezing, started to go into respiratory distress.
At one point, Flynn says they weren't able to help a man having an asthma attack for several minutes before EMS was called.
Scary situation there, pretty quick.
Madison police say they need to protect a crime scene. A statement from the department says officers helped that person get medical attention and that, quote, MPD established crime scene security to preserve and protect the area to allow the Division of Criminal Investigation to conduct an independent investigation.
When we're talking about an active crime scene, we weren't asking to go into the building. We were just asking to come near our people.
Community organizer Tara Stangler says that took hours.
And I think that there was more concern for the sanctity of the scene than there was for the 61 human lives that were there that night that were without food, without water, without adequate clothing.
MPD says officers worked with shelter staff to offer services to those displaced, and city metro buses were provided. But Flynn says there needs to be more. Things like trauma-informed care.
There needs to be alternatives to police involvement in situations like these, not necessarily from an investigatory standpoint, but from a human needs standpoint.
Madison police say men who were planning to stay at the shelter were allowed to leave and come back as they please, and the Red Cross was also available for help. Flynn says he and others raised money to buy sleeping bags and get some hotel rooms last night for a number of people here.